Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. I'm so happy to see everybody here on this beautiful Saturday. And my name is Miss Nanette, as I said, and I work with young audiences of Louisiana. This is the baby Artsplay session called Opposites Attract. And we're presenting it to you with our partners from the New Orleans Museum of Art. And I'm very excited to tell you that the artist that we're going to be looking at today is named Alia Alia, and the painting is done with something called wax cloth. And she does a series of things with multiple mediums and prints, but she's a very interesting artist. When I was doing some research with her, I found that her parents are from Yemen and Bosnia, and she's now an American artist, but she traveled to over 65 countries in the world when she was still a little girl. And that experience, along with her parents being masters of linguistics, led her to her path or vision as an artist that maybe using words is not the best way that everybody across the world can understand each other, that they can use visual art. So she uses a technique with a fabric called wax cloth. I have an example of it here to show you before we look at the paintings. This is a batik method. This is called flowers. This is from West Africa. And it's done with ink and wax and hot water and a different process that makes each one come out unique and can be folded and made into a sculpture if you like. But I really love this fabric. It was actually invented in Amsterdam. It's a Dutch invention, but it's used all over in Africa. And I'm sure you've seen some other patterns like this. So let's take a look at the paintings right now, because there are two paintings that are actually put together to make a portrait that is called, one is called Ochre Waves, and one is called Blue Pearl. And if you look at the painting, when we have it up on the screen, whoops, okay, looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So I'll describe it to you, because I also did a piece last summer. I don't know if you watched Baby Artsplay last summer, but Baby Artsplay, I was featured doing pieces from the sculpture garden. And there was a Nigerian artist named Yinka Shonabari, who does also use these fabrics in large-scale sculptures. I'm pretty sure there's one still out there near the museum. It's by where the water is on the bridge. And I really, really, really like his work too. So I don't know, maybe they met in England, because they were both in England at one point. But the painting has a portrait of a lady looking this way and this way. There we go. Blue Pearls and Ochre Waves. Oh, I'm so happy we got this up. I love this painting. So what do you see when you're looking at this? One person has a little bit different body posture, but she might be a little sad because her head is down, right? She's looking to the side like this. But in the other painting, she's looking up and away. So maybe her mood changed. Maybe she's feeling better in this one. Right? So she's looking to opposite directions. She's looking one way and then another way. And oh, I see some of the same colors that are in my skirt. Look, they're even put together closely in the same way. One has gold and blue, and this turquoise blue is one of my very favorites. And the other one has blue and gold. So those are also examples of opposites. She has these beautiful waves that come up in the painting as it comes up, right? Very, very nice. All right. So I encourage you to go and see that in person, because the museum is open now and it's free. I think on Sunday it's free to go inside, and the sculpture garden is always open. So you can see a Yinka Shonobari sculpture. And I'll bet if you look at this painting and you go and look at the sculpture, you'll notice the similarities. So that's the opposite of opposites, right? Something is the same. So we're going to look at a little book, because I like to share a book with you, that will start us off in the experience of doing some games about opposites. Okay, and if you have any puzzles at home, that's also a good way to practice, because you can do a puzzle with your family and you see the negative shape, and then you find the way the pieces fit together. So that means you're doing comparison, right? This is one of the math skills that we learn when we teach our children about opposites, how to compare, how to notice spatial relationships, and also how to use descriptive language, right? So this book that I have, I actually presented at the Wolf Trap National Affiliates Conference. It's a series of books. It's this very clever little pig named Olivia. And this one is called Olivias Opposites. And my art form is primarily dance and music. So I'm going to show you some illustrations, some pictures and words, and then we're going to have an experience with dance and music, or maybe with some props and puppets to help you understand better the concept of opposites. So Olivia, the first thing Olivia does is she goes up and down. So up and down is something that we can experience. I know a lot of you may have a scarf from past maybe Artsplay experiences. So you can take your scarf and go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So up is the opposite of down, up and down. So I wondered what musical instrument might make that kind of sound. I have one right here. Look. Do you know what this is? If you've been with Miss Nanette, you know this is one of my favorite things. Let's see. The slide whistle goes down and up, down and up. So that's an example of a musical instrument that make a down and up sound. You can also do it with your body. If you stand up and then sit down. Stand up and sit down. Stand up and sit down. So that is a way that you can practice the idea of up and down. And parents, if you have really young children, when you're doing these things, you can use the words and reinforce that information. The next one might be a little easier to see. Long, the long red dress, and short. She got a little ballerina skirt. So long and short, the two opposites. And if you have your little card that comes with the lesson, you'll notice there's a suggestion for using what's called a pop tube. This is my pop tube. It is purple. I have a purple pop tube. So when you use your pop tube, at first it's kind of short, but when you open it, now it's long. I don't know if I can push it back in. It's kind of hard to push back in. Push it back. Shorter, 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 and long. I love a good pop tube. You can also practice short and long with your voice. So if you go long, woo, that is a long note. And if you go, ah, that's a short note. Long, long and short, long and short. So that's a way you can use your voice, which happens to be the first musical instrument invented in caveman days. Cavemen realized that they could make music with their voices and with their bodies, body percussion. All right. See, this book is a lot of fun. It's very easy to look at. They're just pictures and a few words. The next one has her, let's see, what's Olivia doing? She's on a skateboard. Well, I don't have room to use my skateboard in here, but she's coming and going. Coming and going are two opposites, right? So if you come into a room, then you go out, right? Coming and going. Let's see, how can we show coming and going? I have some little friends here. I have Mr. Bunny. Hello. Nice, big, fluffy bunny. So we're going to show him coming and going. Coming and going. Coming and going. And he's very, very, very soft. What is the opposite of soft? Have you ever petted a bunny? They have the most beautiful soft fur. The opposite of soft is hard, right? So something hard may be made out of metal. So that's something hard, right? And a bunny is very soft. He's also a pretty big bunny. What's the opposite of big? How about small? Hey, Mama. So the baby is very, very small. Mwah. I love you. So we have a big mama bunny and a little small baby. So when you put them together, you can really see the difference of their opposite sizes. A big bunny and a little baby bunny. I love you, Mama. Okay, time for breakfast. Bye. So they're going to go have their nice bunny breakfast. Right. So those are also ways that you can do it. If you have toys that are maybe a set of ducks for the bath, which we talked about the last time I saw you. You have a big mama duck and the little baby ducks. Quiet. Oh, I love this one. Quiet and loud. Loud. And very quiet. So when you whisper, you're very quiet. But when you yell, that's very loud, right? So she's looking at a lion. They're trying to do a shouting match. So let's see what we can do with music. Let's see. Let's do quiet first, because that's pretty nice. So if it's a quiet sound, the triangle makes a lovely quiet sound, right? Quiet, quiet, quiet. And I have another instrument. I was looking at the Olympics in Tokyo last night, the opening ceremonies, and I saw one of these. That's pretty loud. That's used in temples. That's very loud. Sorry, scaring the kitties. So that's an example of music sounds that are loud and soft. Now, if you notice, there were also some other opposites happening there. I went in a very slow tempo, which means speed. So I went slow, slow, slow. But when I played that other instrument, I went fast. It goes very fast. And there's some that are really big, and you have to play them really hard to make them go that fast. So these things on the side are what make the sound. I don't know if you can see them. They're these little balls that hit the surface of the drum, and the drum has 1, 2 heads on opposite sides of the instrument. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways that we can practice that. Loud and quiet with our bodies. Well, we already used our voices. One of my personal favorites, plain and fancy. Plain and fancy. I love getting fancy now that we can finally go out somewhere. I love getting dressed up. But sometimes you have to be plain. So I'm going to show you with my hats because I love hats. So I have this one hat. That's my sun hat. It's very pretty. It has my favorite color on top, turquoise blue, but it's kind of plain. So I wear this when I go hiking or go out in the woods, go for a long walk and want to stay nice and cool. So it's kind of plain. But when I perform and I want everybody on stage to be watching me, I wear my very fancy hat. This is a very fancy hat. I love this hat. This is my absolute favorite. You will always get noticed if you wear a fancy hat. And if we can go to the fairgrounds on Thanksgiving Day, you know that's a day when everybody wears their most beautiful fancy hat. And I will be there this year. Ha! So you might be asking yourself, I wonder if there's a way to do plain and fancy with musical instruments. Well, I like to play drums, and I have just the thing to show you. This is a drum that's used in music that's actually from Yemen and other countries in the Mideast. So Miss Ali has probably heard a lot of this. There's 2 types. One is called a darbuka, which is what this one is, and the other one is called a djembek. It's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to show you the darbuka. Is very beautiful. The artist made it very fancy. It's made out of metal. So he decorated it with lots of pictures and carvings. And this is my absolutely favorite, most fancy drum. So that is an example of a fancy drum, my darbuka. An example of a plain instrument makes a great sound, but it's not made out of metal, it's made out of wood. This is called a djembe, and it's from West Africa. And it sounds like this. So that is a drum that is more plain, and the darbuka is fancy. We can also do some opposite tempos on the drum. So 2 examples of opposites would be words like slow, 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 and fast, slow, and fast, slow, and fast. So those are 2 opposite tempos, slow or fast. And if you're listening to music and you want to dance, you can go very slow. For instance, if we're starting with our arms, our 2 arms, right and left are opposite directions, or fast. That's fast, isn't it? Slow and fast. Whew, what a workout. All right, let's see. There's another one here. The last one is, oh, look, she's shouting, oh, with her mouth wide open. And then she's being very quiet, closing her lips, very quiet. So open, or close, open, or close. So that's how you use your body and your voice. So we have on this card here a song. I don't know if you have it or not. It's pretty simple. It's called Open and Shut Them. So this is a fun song for very young children, but anybody can do it. So let's use our hands. Okay, so it's a song that we do with our hands, and we're going to describe the movement that our eyes are going to be doing. So when we say open and shut them, we're talking about our eyes. But we're going to keep them open so that you can follow along. Because if we close our eyes, you won't be able to see what I'm doing, of course. Okay, so it goes like this. I'm going to sing the song for you first and show you how it goes. Open and shut them, open and shut them, open and shut them, give a clap, clap, clap. Open and shut them, open and shut them, put them together in your lap, lap, lap. So our lap is right here in the middle when we sit crisscross applesauce, or where you sit when your mom is reading you a story. So nice. Okay, so let's try it again. Now we can do it together. Ready? Let's go. Open and shut them, open and shut them, open and shut them, give a clap, clap, clap. Open and shut them, open and shut them, put them together in your lap, lap, lap. So you can also do that with the other opposite words that we practiced, like big and small, right? Big, 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 big and small, 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 small. Big, 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 big and small, 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 small. Big, 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 big and small, 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 small. Big, 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 big and small, small, small. Back to breakfast. Yeah, so you can use different words like that and experience some more spatial relationship comparisons. You can do that with a lot of different things. And as I mentioned before, playing a puzzle is an excellent way to help your child understand comparison and spatial relationships. So that was a lot of fun, but we're just about out of time. So it's time to sing our goodbye song. I would like to encourage you, if you're in attendance, to do the little survey that is going to be sent to you in a link, just to give us some feedback, and look forward to seeing you again. There are 3 more sessions in the museum series. So check back again if you didn't register for all of them, okay? So it should be up on your screen right now, okay? So if you get a minute, you can do that while I'm singing the goodbye song with our steady beat. Now it's time to say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye. Now it's time to say goodbye, say goodbye, my friends. Now it's time to wave goodbye, wave goodbye, wave goodbye. Now it's time to wave goodbye, my friend. Blow a kiss. Now it's time to goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Now it's time to goodbye, goodbye, my friends. All right, so I hope you take a minute to do the survey. And as I said before, I miss Nanette, and I really enjoyed spending some time together with you this Saturday. So get on out to those museums and check out with us next Saturday at the same time at 10:30 for the next edition of Baby Artsplay, sponsored with our partners at the New Orleans Museum of Art. Goodbye for now. Bye.